I'm Thomas, Scottish Boxing News, here with a victorious Boris Crighton. How'd that feel, debut?
That was good. It's a long time coming. It was meant to be done in June, so it's I've been itching to let the hands go. So it's finally good to be in there under the lights, get in front of the cameras as well, and to get the job done in style.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be done in a 9-week camp. Got the training in. We had it in. I know I had it in me, so it was just about going in there and showing how well I could do it. So at the end of the day, there's levels to the game, and I've stepped into one with a decent level from my amateur background. So now I'm just about to see what the pro game's got to offer.
Yeah. I guess you can kind of always be confident going into the pro debut, but did the nerves hit you at all? Or?
A little bit of nerves, I think, towards as I got closer to the fight.
Yeah.
When I got into the building, the reality of it kicked in. So the nerves kicked in a little bit, but it's all about being in control of those. The nerves are good. You need them in any competitive sport, and especially a sport like that when you're going in there for, and someone could possibly hurt you. You need to make sure that you're alert when you're going in there. So obviously the nerves kicked in, but controlled nerves. Get under control and go there and do the job that we've been training to do.
You obviously knocked down your opponent 3 times in the first round and a half, and the stoppage. Yeah,
absolutely. So stoppage in the first one, and knocked him down in the first one. Second time in the second round there, and just finished off. I said, it was a minute and a half, something like that, into that second round. So I was happy with the display. Exactly what I wanted. So it's good.
What were your corners sort of saying after the first round?
Enjoy it. It's just go out there and have some fun. Let the hands go. They were just encouraging me to let my hands go a little bit more. Work on the jab. I'm a bit trigger happy with the backhand, so I look for it. So they just said, just set it up, find that distance, and the shot will come. So. And there you are. It came, variation of shots as well. As soon as we can vary the shots that you don't see coming, the ones that tend to put you down. So they just say go out there and have fun and let your hands go. Yeah. That's exactly what I did.
Spoke to Craig yesterday, and he said you were sort of good counter puncher, and I think you caught him pretty cleanly with the first one. And
I came swinging in with a big aggressive backhand from all the way back to the end of the room. I think I was waiting for him to throw it. I was like, I can see you setting it up. So it was fantastic to get that counter punch, to get the crowd going right from that first shot as well. So it was good to see the crowd get involved and right from the first punch. So it was fantastic. It was good. Yeah. That's a style. Sit back and catch him coming in. If you can do that, then just makes the job easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure. You were talking about earlier that I think you signed with St Andrews earlier in the year, but what was the sort of complication with not?
So we just had a few things with the board, setting paperwork to Cardiff and getting it back in time to get my meeting in Glasgow. So that was really just it, to getting all that stuff sorted out. But you have to go through the system, don't you? We had no control over that. We had everything sent away that we needed to. Just waiting back to hear from them, and unfortunately it can happen. So had to get rescheduled for another meeting. So unfortunately I missed my debut in June. So there's a couple of fights that were set up for that point in time, and unfortunately didn't come to fruition. So moved the day back. But then again, it was a good thing. It was not bad at all. Obviously at that point in time I was itching to go, and the news obviously was hard to take at the time. But now, looking back at it, I'm happy that I actually got time to work with my coach. We got a lot more time together compared to when I transitioned from the show for June. It was a very short period of time working together. So I got a lot more time working with him, and made that feel into the pros a lot easier, because we had a good 12 weeks together just working, 9 weeks of a solid camp. So we got to build a relationship along with that, rather than just, hey, I'm coming up, you're the guy I want to go with. Get me time to make sure I pick the right person as well. So rather than just rushing into that decision, obviously I was moving city, everything, new coach, new management, the whole lot. So that actually gave me that not coming through actually gave me some time to sit down and really think about it. Made the right decision at the end, which is the show I was going to go with anyway, but giving that time to sort of build a relationship with those people was fantastic.
Yeah, obviously as you sort of touched on there, you're based up in Aberdeen before, but now moved down here with Renfrewshire Boxing. Was that always the plan when you were?
Yeah, so the plan definitely was to move to Glasgow. There's not enough competition in Glasgow in the sense of just sparring, and sparring's a key thing. And the last thing I wanted to do was to keep travelling. And I knew that even from coming towards the end of my amateur career, that if I wanted to progress in the sport, I needed to move to a city that, had a little bit more of a boxing culture to it. And I would say, in Scotland, Glasgow's the epicenter of boxing. Everyone gravitates to that, and you have the bigger shows that are happening with the Josh Taylor are all happening in Glasgow. So the city to be for boxing in Scotland. So it just made sense at that point in time. My manager was here and I needed a pro coach, and the one that suited me both best was here. So the decision was easy for me to make in terms of coming to Glasgow, and it's the right decision I made. I'm happy with that.
Fair enough. You don't sound like you've got too much of an Aberdeen twang to you.
No, not at all. I get that a lot. I just don't know. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. I'm not
born and bred.
I'm not born and bred at all. No, mate. So it's one of those things. I think it was me just trying so much not to have the accent and end up picking up something else along the way. I think I just had a lot of English influence. A lot of my family are based down south as well, so that comes from that. Culture in terms of music and stuff like that. A lot of influence from the English side, I think, and I kind of just gravitated to that and picked that up as it happened. And I think moving from Cameroon as well, I was always well spoken, so it was very alien to me to sort of speak like that. So I was brought up to speak proper and all that. So it was easier to sort of transition into that with accent wise. That is, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Can you talk us through your amateur career a little bit? Just how did you get into boxing and things like that?
Yeah, I got into boxing at 16, and a year before, my friend Jackson encouraged me to get into it, and at the time it sounded like a good idea until I realised I had to actually travel to training, and I had to take 2 buses, and I was not keen for that at all whatsoever at 15 years old. And my mum was like, I'm not taking you to Boston and get punched in the face. If you want to go, you can go by yourself. So it was left down to me, and at 15, and I was like, nah mate, I'll give it a pass. And he went on to be successful after that year and win the Scottish Championship, got an opportunity at the British and got a good write-up in the papers, and was on STV News, and I was thinking, wow, that's my best friend, and he's gone and done all that. We went to the gym together to try it out, and then I bailed out. So I got that sort of motivation from him to go and try it. That's a year later, I was in the gym and achieved exactly what I wanted to achieve. Be a district champion, Scottish champion, and took it from there. And I've been in the sport ever since. Something that I was good at, and I thought, well, why waste the opportunity? See what comes from it. You know what I mean? And we're here now. It's a fantastic road down the line, and I have him to thank for it. So it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I give him all the success so far. Some of that goes to him.
Fair enough. Most people would normally start with the 4 rounders. You didn't obviously go the distance, but went for the 6, confident.
Yeah. When we came in, I think at the division that I am, it's a competitive weight, and of course coming with a fairly decent and platform from being an amateur. I had that experience of competing at a high level. So, and with the training that I've been doing, the sparring partners that I've had have been top level, world level fighters. So to be in there sparring with them and being able to hold my own and compete with them, we said no reason why to slow it down. Why take the 4 rounds? Well, we've got the 6 rounds in us, and get used to those rounds as soon as possible. And I say again, it didn't go the distance, so it makes no real difference at this point in time. But we knew we had it in us, and we were ready to take the opportunity to make sure that if our opponent lasted the 6th round, we had the 6 rounds in us, and we wanted to go there and get that experience. And my team and I were confident enough that I had the experience enough to go 6 rounds.
Fair enough. Where's the nickname?
Boris the Blade from the film Snatch. So, yeah, Boris the Blade, Boris the Bullet Dodger. It was the nickname that an amateur coach gave me, and it kind of just stuck, and I kind of just went with it. So when someone asked me, what name do you go? The thing is that people think it's from the film Blade, which is now counteractive, and I don't know why I have to explain it every time. Like, no, it's from the film Snatch, and if you've not watched it, then it's a bit. Everyone's like, well, I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, so Boris the Blade from the film Snatch. That's where it came from.
Fair enough. Do you hope to get out sort of before the end of the year?
Yeah, so I'll be out again in November back in Aberdeen. So I'll get an opportunity in Aberdeen, which is great. It gives me that platform in my home city as well to show what I've got. It's hard to get everyone to travel down, and I guess it's good to have the opportunity to be up there and fight alongside Dean, he's fighting tonight as well.
Yeah.
Another Aberdeen boxer, and it gives us the platform to grow with each other, which is fantastic for us to both be on this show and then both be on that show on the 24th of November, I believe it is, in Aberdeen, which is a great platform to have family, friends there from Aberdeen to come and see me fight at a professional level, which has not had the opportunity to, even at an amateur level, because a lot of the time I box either in Glasgow or internationally. So it's finally good to have the opportunity to be there and perform at that stage.
Yeah, obviously on BBC like the sport website as well. Both of you from Aberdeen as well. Good exposure for both of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as I said, with the delay that happened, work that again came with a lot of benefits with that, in terms of not even just the coach, my team that I was able to pick was this platform that we've been given to us to be available, to be on BBC Online and be able to perform in front of the cameras on my debut and put on a good show. That then just to build up from there. You know, I mean, it starts well and get the ball rolling. You get that exposure right from day one, which is fantastic. It allows people to sort of see who you are, what you've got, and hopefully keep up with you as you go through the journey of the professional journey, which is a lonely and tough one. But if you have people that support you alongside, then it makes that journey a little bit easier. You know, so it's just good.
Where do you see that journey ending? Where would you hope to what would you hope to sort of achieve in the sport? I
don't have any plans per se. I think I have a lot of growing, a lot of learning to do. We'll start with that first, and then we'll see what comes along the line. I think when as far as comes to sport, if you don't aim to be the best in your sport at what you do, if you're a sprinter, then you want to be the best sprinter in the world. If you're a fighter, you want to be the best fighter at your weight. So if you don't have that drive to have that achievement, then you're just kidding yourself on. So obviously, of course, you want to be the best and be the best that you can be at whatever you do. But right now, just taking it one step at a time. I'm enjoying the training. I'm back to enjoying it again. Just feels like a new sport to me. I'm learning different things, and that's what I want to do. I want to learn first and then grow from there. So there's no point in rushing and saying I want this, I want that. Let's learn first. And it will come. It will come. The opportunities will come when you keep winning. They will come. So we're just perfect. Just working on achieving perfection, and grow from there. Again, I'm in an exciting division, so the times and opportunities will come, and for some exciting fights, there's a lot of exciting boys as well coming through the ranks that are from Scotland themselves, and a lot of guys that I was part of the team with in the Scotland team. So it's good to see everyone coming up together, and I'm excited for what's down the line, what's down the road.
Do you plan on staying at light heavyweight? Is that sort of a...
So my weight's actually super middle, so I'm going to be a super middle.
Okay.
So light heavy was just for this fight. Yeah. Obviously, I fought at light heavy as an amateur, so it was a bit of a cash. It was meant to be a bit. I think the weight we're meant to fight now. We're meant to be fighting at 12.5. So I got the phone call of okay, it's going to be a bit heavier. So he came in at 12.12 or something like that. I came in at 12.7. So.
Giving a few pounds.
Yeah, just giving just a little bit away. But I would say again, at the same time, I was happy to get the phone call and say, "Hey, go and eat some food. You don't need to." I was like, "Yes." So now, you take it as it comes. Sometimes these things happen in a professional game. I think it's one of the things you don't get to see when everyone sees it on TV and goes, "Oh my God, what's that?" And you're like, "It doesn't all happen like that." But it's part of the professional game, isn't it? In the amateurs, it's not like there's no leeway. There's no such leeway. Either that's the weight or that's the weight kind of thing. So it was. It's a different environment again. It does feel like a different sport. So it's good to learn these new things and see what happens in the back and be part and be involved in it. Yeah. So yeah, it's great.
What's sort of the biggest change you've found from stepping from sort of the pro amateurs to the pros?
Well, having to know that I had to train for 6 rounds. I think that was definitely the biggest change so far. It's just the rounds. Everything else is again, it's just working on the stuff that I already know and trying to improve that. Bring a few new changes, but likewise, as I said, not to rush anything too much and trying to overload me with too many things about what the pro game's got to offer. More so just make sure that we're fit, we're ready, and we've got the mindset to go out there and do the job. So the biggest change was just putting the work in to make sure that we were ready for 6 rounds. Again, being able to slow down that pace. But naturally, I was quite a slow fighter in amateur, so it does suit me the pro game in terms of just longer distance, and that's why I think my team was confident enough to put me into the 6 rounds, because they know I will take my time if I do need to. I'm in no rush whatsoever. So again, just making sure that set that pace and that just the rounds. Make sure we got those rounds in the bank. Make sure we're confident, rather than just those fast. 3 rounds and you've got to steal the first 2, or that's it. So they're just getting used to those rounds and settling down and slowing down the pace a little bit, knowing that we've got a journey to go. It's not going to be over and quicker before you know it.
Fair enough. If people are looking to sponsor you or get in touch in that regards, what's the best way to get hold of you?
Most likely Facebook. The name is Boris Crighton. You can have my Instagram, which is Better Fitness. Just search me in that. Again, if you type Boris into that will come up. That's probably the 2 best ways. And just get a hold of me. let me know, and let's get involved in this journey. Let's grow together.
Good stuff. Actually, what do you have a job as well on top of the?
Yeah, so personal trainer. So I'm a personal trainer, and I've been a personal trainer for about 4 years. So it's good. It's good and bad in its own way, because I feel like I'm always living in a gym, from one gym to the other. My life
same
just
four walls.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I'm in an environment that allows me to learn a lot about the sport, and how to make weight in the best way and not dehydrate myself or kill myself. And I've always been good with my weight in that sense, and I think being in that job has allowed me to know these things and be more aware, more conscious of the way my body grows and changes along the way in the journey of being an athlete, that especially in the boxing world, because we know how tough it can be to make that weight, and trying to make sure you don't go up too much after after the fight and enjoy yourself too much and get carried away. So I think being in that environment is good, but like I said, at the same time, I live and breathe the gym, but it's good.
Well, I hope you enjoy for you tonight anyway. Thanks for your time, and congratulations on debut win.
Thank you.